I'm Ted Macklin, inventor and maker of the Guillotine Fin Alignment Jig, and this is my latest contraption. Tim Van Milligan of Apogee Components asked me to come up with a design for the high-power rocket crowd that would allow larger body tubes to be slotted safely and easily with a power router, and this is it. For lack of a better name, I call it the slot machine. To give you some idea how big this puppy is, here's a standard size guillotine fin jig, and as you can see, it's quite a bit smaller. Very good for the model Rocketeers, but totally inadequate for the big boys. Okay, without further ado, let's get on with routing a slot for a fin. First thing we're going to do is draw a reference line. I'm just whipping this out just quickly to show how it works. I'm not really building a rocket here. Okay, I've already made up a fin, and we're going to use this as our pattern. Looks like it needs to be about 6 5/8 inches long on the slot, and start with an offset of about 1.25 inches. So we'll mark a start and stop point on the tube. We'll start on this end. Here's 1.25 inches, and then we'll go 6 5/8. We'll go a little bit longer so that we don't have to wrestle with it. There's our starting and stopping point. The next thing we do, we'll loosen up the holding clamps on the sides of the lid, and we'll slide this tube right on in here. Charlie, come on around here so they can see what I'm doing on this end. If you look right on this end, you'll see a reference mark in a V groove there. Okay, I want to line that up on there, and I want to push it right on into the machine. Now I'm going to push it in there far enough to my center marks are on line, and I'm going to go to the other end and rotate it right there. Okay, if you'll step around here, let me get back this way a little bit. I'm going to push that in just a hair. That's close enough for demonstration purposes. And I want to make sure I got everything all lined up. Put some downward pressure, that'll hold this, and I tighten up these side clamps, which are nothing more than a stud and a knob. Okay, we're ready to cut a slot. I got to take these glasses off, and the most important thing you'll use are these safety goggles, because you only get one set of eyes. Alright, a few things about a router. This bit's going to spin 25 to 30,000 RPM, and it will cut the living crap out of human tissue. So, the way you do this is to make sure that the router is not touching anything before you turn it on. Okay. So in the case of a fixed base router like this, I turn it on, and I lower it into the workpiece. When you push it forward, you're about there. Then we shut it off, and we don't move it until the router comes to a complete stop. And we'll pull it out, and there is our slot. Now this is not the best tube. Actually, this was a carpet roll from Lowe's, and so it's a little bit rough. There's your slot. Start, stop. Now I didn't make up a clamp or anything. I'm just showing that it'll work. Oh yeah, this baby will do something else. We can loosen it up And we can shove this on out the other end. And again, we can rotate our tube till we're on our mark, reference mark, right there where my finger is. And here is the added benefit of this particular routing mechanism. I didn't have time or the money to get aluminum stock for a fin mounting device, fin alignment device, but I made one. I have threaded inserts into the ends of the device, which allowed me to attach these fin rails and use it in a very similar fashion to the smaller guillotine fin alignment jig. Well, these would obviously be an option. If you can do it without them, you wouldn't need these fin alignment fences. But I just want to show you that this thing is pretty versatile. If I had the time and the money, I would have bought some nice 3x3 by 1/4 inch aluminum extrusion angle. And it would have been a superior setup. Now, these are adjustable out, just like on the smaller standard guillotine. If you can look down inside here, you can see the slot. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this fin right down into the slot. Perhaps you can get a shot here, Charlie. Okay, it's going right down in just like I wanted it to. Now, how do we gauge this thing? Well, we take some material, roughly the same thickness as our, better get a longer one. By the way, this is not suitable material for a fin jig. This is just some paneling scrap that I had left over. Anyway, you have a similar deal to the thing, or the groove, which will allow you to adjust your fin so that it's on center. And you go back and forth on each end and you clamp these babies together. And we should be just about right. Let's just pull this thing out here and use it as a gauge. Okay, that should be pretty close to spot on. And let's just slide our fin, and there that baby is. Look right up at the end here, and you can see that our fin is right where we want it to be. And if you can get a shot, Charlie, right down the line, you can see it's dead center right on down through the middle of things. Well, that's the latest contraption from Ted Macklin. And there it is. And I want to stress that there were no animals harmed during the filming of this episode. Bye!